Hi class, how you guys doing? Okay, I want to go over this. This video is to show you how to non-destructively create repair layers on your file. And this is specifically for task 2, course project for caricature repair. And what we're going to do here is we're going to create repair layers, but we're going to do so in a non-destructive workflow. Now this video is here because this goes over the textbook exercise, which of course was submitted in task 1. So if you're wondering why we're looking at task 1 after it's already been submitted, the reason is because, as you've noticed in the textbook, some of the techniques are destructive in that overview and the directions and instructions for this particular lesson. So what this video does is it goes through the textbook exercise again and does it in a completely non-destructive workflow, which is really very, very important in Photoshop. Remember, since week 1, you've been hearing me say we're going to follow a non-destructive workflow. So it's very important to maintain editability in Photoshop at all times. Very important. I'm going to give you a demonstration as to why it's so important in 1 second. But first of all, I just want to reiterate the importance of watching this and opening up your textbook exercises, maybe even working through it again, following these techniques. You'll really see the difference. As I said, I'm going to give you a little demonstration right now that shows the importance of maintaining editability with an example in a real-world setting. But please go through this textbook exercise again. I know it's going to take a little time, but please do it because this might be one of the most important, well, without question, this is one of the most important videos in the entire class, so please watch this. Okay, so task 2, course project caricature repair overview. So we're going to create some repairs. We're going to repair some of the images that we've used to create our caricature, okay? And the repair tools are the ones that you have learned in task 1. So I'm going to show you in this video how to maintain full editability while you're creating those repair layers. Okay, so the first thing that the assignment asks us to do is use 2 adjustment layers clipped to the appropriate layer they are adjusting. So we know how to do that, right? We've done that in the exercise where we prepared the image for the magazine cover. Remember, with the puppet work, we added that image, clipped an adjustment layer to it. I'm going to show you how we can clip an adjustment layer to one of the images here in your working file. So let's take a look at the banana layer, right? So the banana layer looks a little washed out. It doesn't have as much color as some of the other images. So we want to add an adjustment layer to add some color to that image itself. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to come right to the banana layer. And to find the banana layer quickly, just come to your direct selection, your move tool, and command click, control click on a PC right on the banana, and that will take you to the banana layer. At this point, we're going to add an adjustment layer. So we'll come down here. Let's just add a hue saturation adjustment layer, right? So here we are right there. Now, as you know, if I pull out my properties panel right now, and I'm going to do so by going to Window, Properties, and I'll bring up my properties panel. Now, as you know right now, if I just start working with the sliders, it's going to affect everything below the adjustment layer, right? So that's why we have to clip that adjustment layer to the layer below it, telling Photoshop that it's only to affect the layer below it. So let's just go ahead and right click, and we'll create a clipping mask. We know it's clipped because of that little arrow right there. Now I can go ahead and make some adjustments on that banana. Saturate it a little bit. Let's add a little bit of color to it. Let's see, where do we want to go? A little bit more yellow. That's looking good. Reduce the lightness just a little bit. All right, that's looking fantastic. So that looks like it fits much better in the composition, right? So that is how you clip an adjustment layer to an individual layer. So this assignment, remember, you're required to do at least 2 of those. All right, next we're going to look at how to correct flaws in the images in your design using various repair tools and retouch tools. So in the task 1, you were introduced to several repair and retouch tools. Now I'm only going to use 1 in this, but don't forget you're required to use at least 2. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And this is where I said I'm going to give you an example of why this is so important to maintain full editability in your files. Okay, so what I want to do here is I'm going to come to my spot healer tool. Okay, and don't forget you've got all of these tools at your disposal. So please don't just stick with 1. I'm just going to stick with 1 for the purpose of this demonstration, but please show some variety in your work. All right, so I'm in this layer. I want to come over here and I want to remove this reflection. from this cherry, right? So if I just come in here and I do this if I do this in a destructive way, I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to take, let's find that layer again by going to the move tool, control click on that, command click on a PC. There's the layer, right? So if I just come over here, I'm in the layer and I just want to come in and start saying, okay, I've got my repair tool, my spot healer. All right, and I have to click sample all layers too, right? Make sure that is clicked. It's very important that's clicked. So if I come in here and I just start making my repairs, okay, sure, the reflection's gone, right? But now what do I do once I save this out? What if my client says, well, I like that reflection, I want it back? You're stuck. There's nothing you can do at that point. That's why we want to maintain editability in our repair layers. So let me show you that again. I'm just going to come over here to history, and I'm going to go back a couple of steps. Let me pull that over so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to go back a couple of steps. Here we are. Okay. And what I want to do at this point is do that same technique, only this time I'm going to do so non-destructively. Okay, so again, we'll find the layer. Here it is. We'll command click control on a PC, find the layer, double check. That's the layer I want, right? So this time I'm going to remove that reflection, only I'm going to do so non-destructively. So what I want to do at this point is make sure the layer is selected, and I'm going to add a new layer right above it. Okay, that layer I'm going to call left arm repair layer. You can even name this according to the tool that you're going to use. All right, now you guessed it, we're going to clip this to the layer below it. Okay, now there's the clipping mask. This is telling me that this repair layer is going to affect only this layer below it. And let me show you the significance of that. So now we go over to that tool. Right, there's our spot healer, sample all layers. We can come in here and we can go ahead and remove that reflection. Okay, so it's the same thing, right? Only now we take this to our client and our client says, I love it, but I like that reflection in the cherry. All you have to do now is go back to your studio and go like this. Turn that layer off, and that's it. So that is the benefit of maintaining full editability in your corrections layers. So don't forget, this assignment requires 2 adjustment layers clipped to the layer they're adjusting, and also 2 repair layers, okay, at least 2, correct the flaws of at least 2 images in your design, various repair and retouch tools. Now do that using this technique. Do that using this technique where you create a blank layer above the layer you want to repair. Name it based on exactly what you're doing to maintain organization. This one, for example, is left arm repair layer. It's clipped to the left arm. The adjustments are done using one of the correction tools, and sample all layers. Make your corrections, and then move on to do your next one by finding the next layer you want to repair, then adding another blank layer above it, naming it, clipping it to the mask, selecting your correction tool, sample all layers, and then make those corrections, okay? And that is how you complete this exercise, caricature repair, in a non-destructive way. It's really important you do this non-destructively, okay? Because that is going to be what is expected in the final submission. So do it now, or if you've done it and you haven't done this one non-destructively, I'm going to ask you to correct those correction layers in a non-destructive way. Okay. Any questions, comments at all, guys? Please let me know. Thank you very much.